Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Man.
Now, Chicago Bears could have been a story too.
Yeah.
Petey, baby.
Should have.
Could have been a story. Today, we could have been singing the praises of Eberflus and Justin Fields and DJ Moore speaking out about Justin Fields afterwards, saying, I don't know if Caleb and Drake are better than Justin Fields. So I don't even know what the conversation is. DJ Moore was obviously part of a trade from the Carolina Panthers where they said we don't need our number one weapon, and the Chicago Bears definitely need it. Now, over like the last 7 weeks, Chicago Bears have been playing good football.
Yes.
Chicago Bears have become a little bit of a wagon. The offense has kind of figured out how to operate around what Justin Fields has talents at. Now, what does that mean for next year? We don't know. Defensive side of the ball, since they make the trade and pay $100 million to Sweat, everybody else has seemingly got better on that side of the ball as well. So taking on this Cleveland Browns team, this was a real head scratcher. Who's going to do what? Who's going to show up? And then early in that game, it was tight. Joey Flacco has a pick six. He would throw another one as well. It became a situation where this is the Joe Flacco that everybody expected in Cleveland. But people like us who got a chance to see Joe Flacco up close and personal in that AFC North knew that all you need to do is give Joey Flacco a chip in the chair.
Yep.
All he needs is the slightest opportunity, and he's going to make things happen. And he stole the joy from Chicago with a beautiful comeback win against the Chicago Bears, where not only does he showcase that deep ball, he showcases his athleticism moving the pocket, but how about his precision?
Dart.
How about his absolute dot to Amari Cooper whenever they needed it late in the fourth quarter? How about a defense knowing that Amari Cooper's probably going to be the one you're looking for? They got people everywhere on this particular play. Somebody with a less of an arm than Joe Flacco hits the side of one of those Bears players that could have picked that thing like they had earlier in the game 2 times. Absolute seed from Joe Flacco. Then, how are you going to back it up? I don't know. With David Njoku, who's become like the number one tight end in the NFL over the last few weeks, as Joe Flacco has become their quarterback. Brock Purdy and George Kittle found each other quick and often. Joe Flacco and Dave Njoku, a man who had his face on fire just a few weeks ago, have become a tag team like Hawk and Animal of the Road Warriors.
Hell yeah.
It's been fun to watch this story. Joe Flacco spoke to the team afterwards. He said, I feel like a 10-year-old. I feel like a 10-year-old playing with you guys on the field. Just loves that he's back in the game. He did an interview with Mark Sanchez, and he was just chit-chatting about the things that he knows, and doesn't know, and how much fun he's having, and how appreciative he is of the opportunity, how so many backups were signed to teams. And Joe Flacco's just sitting there, waiting, hoping that somebody would give him a call. And now all the dog pound is like, thank God we called that guy. Joe Flacco's magical. He's loving it. He has all the ability, and I think he's very grateful to be a Cleveland Brown. They might, don't look now. He's been there, done that. You know, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. That was the AFC, okay? The AFC champions for like 2 decades. Guess who snuck in a couple times?
Who's that?
Joe Flacco. Okay, Joe Flacco snuck in there. That's 2 decades ago, this guy. Still got it, AJ. Beautiful to watch what's happening over there in Cleveland.
I mean, you mentioned Njoku and how well he is playing. That's 3rd and 15. Like, can you imagine if you're Chicago, right? That's such a backbreaker. And good job by Flacco sitting there, backpedal, buy some time, and then sneak it right over the top of the D lineman who's dropping out. That's just a beautiful play. But, yeah, the Amari Cooper play, when I was watching that live, I was, like, almost in disbelief that he threw it and that it worked out, and then Amari found a way to stay in bounds and score. But, yeah, Njoku, when you look at the dude physically, you would think, this guy, how do you cover him? How do you do anything with this guy? And I think he's showing us right now, like, he's starting to scratch what his potential could eventually be.
Kevin Stefanski, Peter Schrager reported this morning, Emmy winner. Peter Schrager of Good Morning Football. He reported on his X, and I probably assume on Good Morning Football, that Kevin Stefanski, I think, had Njoku talked to the team the night before and basically said, like, this guy epitomizes where Brown is. And then I think he got a game ball afterwards. Like,
long way.
I think they're empowering the hell out of Njoku to be the guy. And if he gets going, and that offensive line's still that offensive line, they're always going to run the ball well.
Cooper.
And then Amari's still making hilarious catches. And Stefanski's got to be loving his life. Holy hell. We got a winner.
He just doesn't get rattled either. You know, you talked about, throwing those picks and those turnovers. A lot of young quarterbacks or inexperienced quarterbacks, especially backup, you come with the defense. You don't want to mess it up. You want to kind of manage the game. Maybe you get a little hesitant. The receivers, we see some receivers on some people's teams in here, aren't necessarily giving the best effort down in and down out, and that's because you don't believe in your quarterback. Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's because you don't believe in your quarterback.
Don't say anything bad about them.
So that goes a long way to have a guy like that you mentioned, been there, done that, doesn't get phased, and then can step in the pocket, stay in the pocket, and make those type of throws down the stretch, man. That's special to see.
Joey Flacco, comeback player of the year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we're talking comeback. I think it should just be MVP at this point. Are you kidding me?
I did see Ronnie. Ronnie Stavi.
That's right.
Thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Lamar and Joe Flacco potentially battling against each other for the MVP this year. So that'd be a big win for Baltimore.
I also mentioned, what Isaiah Likely was up to after the game, but it does feel like Flacco has been, the best, or at least one of the best of the backup quarterbacks to come in. And
definitely. He is what we thought the Pastronaut was going to be.
Bingo.
We thought the Pastronaut of Arizona was potentially going to go. Remember at the beginning, it's like, wait a minute. Is Josh Dobbs the guy for Arizona with this new offense, new culture, new system? They're fighting. Here we go. As they await Kyler Murray, what's the future? Who knows? Then obviously Kyler comes back. He's still moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fun to watch Kyler do his thing. Now they lose, but it is fun to watch him do his thing. And then he gets traded to Minnesota, and we have that magical weekend where he just goes, and Kevin O'Connell was telling him the plays right beforehand, and he's so smart so he can actually digest that and execute and win the game. It's like, all right, this is going to be the guy. Josh Dobbs finally getting his opportunity again to maybe be. It's like Joe Flacco, actually, AJ. Like he comes in off the couch. Drop him in off the couch. And it's like, did they just get better with this guy? And what was the percentage? 24%, 34%? I forget.
I think when Hansen said it on Red Zone, 25, 26, somewhere around 24, somewhere around there.
The percentage of salary cap on IR. Now, obviously.
They're banged up.
Both
sides of the ball.
If they were able to win this, Andrew Barry, GM, Cleveland Browns, Stefanski should be in some conversation.
Yeah.
Like, even if they make the play, they lose Chubb. Remember that? Chubb was their offense.
Forever ago.
He was their offense, and that was nasty. Then, obviously, Deshaun plays, doesn't play. He's out.
Conklin.
Who knows what they're going to be? Defense, offense, defense.
Both tackles.
Everywhere. It's like they lost. It was just another boom, 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 boom. And now we're heading into Week 16 with this Cleveland Browns team, and we're like, well, hey, the boys play tough.
Yeah, 9-5.
The boys play tight.
Good team.
What a move. What an organization. What a program, the Cleveland Browns. Because normally the Cleveland Browns have messed this whole thing up. That would be the history of the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. But not this year, AJ. Feels different over there.
No, it does. But think of Flacco, where his mind was. Like, I'm sure in his mind he thought, hey, I may never play again. Like, I might not get signed again. If I do, maybe I'll go back somebody up. Who knows? He's waiting for the right opportunity. But the fact that he's in there and he's winning, coming back, winning games like in big time, making huge throws, of course he's going to be super thankful and grateful. It's got to feel awesome for him. So I think it's really easy to root for a dude like that. But we talked about it when he signed there. Like, isn't this set up for a Joe Flacco situation? Like, here we go. We run the ball well. Our defense is awesome. We can get after it. We have weapons on the outside. Our offensive line can block. Yeah, all we need is Joe Flacco, not even to be a game manager. Joe's going out there and making plays to win the game.
Yeah, they're letting him too. I mean, it isn't just like sometimes. He said the reason to that Mark Sanchez conversation, Sanchez both tweeted it and Instagrammed it. But I think he said something along the lines like, in his mind, he was saying he still got it. It was nice to like go out
and actually prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it to yourself. I'm sure.
He was like, in my mind, I was thinking, because I think Sanchez like, did you expect this or something along those lines? And he said, in my mind, yeah, but it was nice to be able to prove it. I think he's just house money type view. Like, that's just kind of how he's viewing this all. And what a perfect situation to do that.
Think about the two teams and the two quarterbacks with backups in the AFC North this weekend, with the Bengals coming back down 14 in the fourth with huge plays from Browning, and then Flacco doing the same for the Browns, and then obviously the Hail Mary that wasn't to end the game. But like huge moment, like those are huge wins for the playoffs, especially with the Texans getting a win yesterday and the Bills getting a win yesterday. Those two teams stay in the playoffs. Those were huge.
Yes, massive.
Huge.
And they have future implications as well.